how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today we're talking with Tommy Mello, live and in person. How you doing, man?
Great. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate you giving us an office tour. You know, I'm going to start. I've got my card of questions. A few people asked some questions too, but the first question I've got is, have you always had the mojo and the confidence in your own personal salesmanship? Or tell me a little bit about your journey from if at one point you didn't have it and slowly getting up to the point where you had it, or yeah.
You know, I don't care what you throw me into. I was going to win.
Yeah.
I'm a competitive SOB. So at the end of the day, the reason I got out of the field is that it took me 8 years. I said, I'm not going to leave until someone could outsell me. And one day I found a guy that came from a really big company that knew a lot more about sales than I did at the time. And we used to ride together. We went neck and neck. But he was a machine. And I said, okay, my time has come to start working less in the field. And, you know, I read the E-Myth at the time, but I was a money machine, man. I mean, when you're out there writing big tickets, conversion rate, getting 5-star reviews, take care of the customer first, give them 5 out of 5 service. And then it's not bad. I've got a sales process that we call the sales process that works every time. Mm-hmm. So what I needed to learn how to do is delegate. I needed to learn how to give up some control. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's causing such growth. And we're actually at a weird time in the company right now. We're getting ready to hike up to the next level. We are going to do $1 billion in 2025, which is about less than 3 years away, actually. So how do you get to $1 billion of revenue? I wrote this on the whiteboard. And I said, okay, if the average tech does 500,000, now it's 650,000. But at the time it was 500,000. I need 2,000 technicians. How do I get 2,000 technicians? Well, I'm going to need a training center. I'm going to need recruiters. I'm going to need trainers. And I'm going to need to create a culture that is a magnet for A players. Mm. So we're really, I'm excited about is I'm bringing on a chief marketing officer. Mm. That'll allow me to do a lot less in that department. And then what I'm going to create is a magnet, a machine that I'm going to be training each employee how to recruit. They make $1,500 per person. So I'm going to be giving them the tools they need. Can you imagine I take one of my guys. One of my guys was living out of his car for a year before he worked for me. If you talk to his wife, she'd say something like this. Justin was not the boyfriend that I fell in love with. He was living out of his car. He was an athlete in college, but never really, very unlucky track he was on. And when he started at day one, he became not only an amazing boyfriend, but he became a husband. Now he's a father. Now we have 2 brand new cars. We live in a beautiful home. He's home from work early. He's moved up in the company 4 times. He came from nothing. Yes, he went to school, but you don't need a 4-year degree. A1's going to teach you what you need. So you have them, you have them give you the testimonials. So the plan is Friday, drive up to a restaurant. Guy's really cool as hell. And he's talking to me. He's like, wait, where are you from? And I'm like, Michigan. Where are you from? He's like, New York. He had the shortest shorts on. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing ever. And anyways, I was like, dude, I was like, listen, you seem like a good guy. If you're looking for a job that pays really, really well, I said, I took a selfie with him. I said, give me your number and I'll text you. So I got his information. He's going to do a ride along. One thing, too, never give a business card and say, hey, if you're ever looking for work, let me know. You say, listen, dude, Tim, let's take a picture. Boom, selfie, send it to you. Let's do a ride along. Mm. I know I went off on a tangent there from where you started, but that's how I feel.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I guess I was trying to selfishly ask the question for me because at one point I was not thinking I was the greatest salesman, but you know, you have to be a pretty decent salesman to start a company and to get the ball rolling here. So I felt like there was a shift that I had to do at some point that was like, I need to trust that and be confident in myself that I had to train people to sell for our company. And I had to understand that I was good. And I was just wondering if there was a moment like that for you where you had to try, or was it this other person that you hired
I don't know. You know, that's what I do, mostly sales training. Yeah. I'm a sales marketing guy.
Yeah.
So for me, I look them dead in the freaking eyes, and I don't care. I can get in your personal space. It's not weird for me. I don't really give a shit. But, you know, you got to be comfortable in your own skin. Mm-hmm. Now, I did go to a barber. These are red marks from the shave burn. But so I literally went and had a whole day. Yesterday I got my hair cut. Then I got my eyebrows. They whatever, they flossed them or whatever. And then I went and there was a barber. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a really good shave. So I sat me down. $25 just for a shave, but it was worth it. But I think the deal is you need to hire around your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Do not hire your strengths. It's going to piss you off. If you're a badass accountant, do not hire an accountant because you're going to be like, you're doing it wrong. So it's been tough for me to hire marketing because I have high expectations for marketing, but sales, I'm like, listen, the fact is that I believe in myself. And anytime someone calls me, they say, hey, dude, I'm letting you down. I say, do me a favor. Shut the hell up, first of all. You're not letting me down. Secondly, go find a mirror. A mirror? Yeah, okay, they'll pull down their visor. Now look at that guy in the mirror and tell him you love him. Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't have the confidence in your own skin, you're never going to make it. Not as an owner. We've got a lot of people that are workers, but
That's good, though.
I literally tell people, listen, pull your shoulders back.
Oh, let's do it.
Smile. And look people dead in the eye and ask a question.
Yeah.
Are we good to go on this? Let's go ahead and make this door safe. Yeah. And the difference is slow the hell down and have fun.
Yeah.
You know how many people used to hug me in the garage and be like, oh my God, this has never been quieter. And I'm like, I finally got used to saying it because so many people ask, what would you do if this was your mom's door? Mm-hmm. So now I say, if this was my mom's door, here's what I would be doing. And you never do. A lot of people start with a huge, like a checklist. Start the work. Start what they called you out here for. For your job, you should get them in, prove that you're awesome, prove that you're 5 out of 5 company, and then say, listen, I want to take over your GMBs. I want to monitor this. I want to take over your, start with something. And I think that's the thing is, listen, right now, SEO is an easy thing to sell. I think there's people that call me all the time that it's so hard because I feel like an agency, they outsource a lot of stuff and the content's not great. What I want to know, dollars and cents, what do you do for me? So the smart companies, they tap into the CRM and they say, I want my report. I want to know how much money we're making for you. Because my goal is to simply make you 10 times more money. I had a new guy start for me. He's the president of our company now. And he asked for a very sizable, generous salary and some other stuff. And I said, let's talk about this. And he said, let me just tell you one thing. If I don't make you 10 times the money, and he's done 20 times, but his confidence level, the eye contact, the body language, the tonality, all those things matter. Mm-hmm. And if you don't sound confident in yourself, your customers aren't going to be confident. I mean, I walk in, when I step in that garage, I'm the doctor. I own it. Mm-hmm. But what do I do? What do you do to a doctor? Does the doctor tell you or does he ask you? Let me ask you something. How much are you working out right now? What kind of food are you eating? Are you smoking cigarettes? How much are you drinking? Is it good cardio you're getting?
Authority. So the authority frame.
They always ask questions. Now, ask me a question.
I've got 5.
Just ask me another.
Okay.
Ask me just a general question, like random.
Random question.
Like in a garage. We're pretending we're in a garage.
Is it going to keep the heat in?
That's a great question. I'm just curious. There's a lot of different types of insulation. What makes you ask that? So always return a question with a question.
Sometimes I have my dog in there.
Yeah. Well, the first place is don't leave your dog in the garage. I'm kidding. Shit. I'm joking. No, it's Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay, I've got to let's do these rapid if you don't mind. Because I want to keep it tight for people. Why go to 1,000 employees? I know that's a goal of yours right now. Where are you at on that journey and why? Why are you obsessed with this kind of growth pattern?
Well, like I said, to get to $1 billion of revenue, I just want to go where other people haven't gone. I want to do it for myself. So 1,000 employees is halfway to where I'll be. It's just, to me, there's no one that's done what we're doing. And especially in an industry that's never even come close to doing it. Mm-hmm. So I just got my own personal goals and some invisible ceilings I want to break through. And, it sets me up. Believe it or not, this is all part of the plan. Garage doors is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And, you know, $1 billion company at 20% is worth roughly around $4 billion.
Do you want to sell?
I'd sell. Well, I'd be a partner still.
Okay.
So I'd bring on an equity partner.
Yeah.
And what I would do is I'd go into 10 other industries.
Okay.
And then I'd do it all over again.
Okay.
Hopefully somewhere around 50 billion is what I'm shooting for. Nothing big.
Why? I like it. Why no fancy cars and houses? I know I saw that on one of your podcasts that you did recently. It seems like that's not a big piece for you, like the luxury lifestyle stuff as much.
Yeah, you know, one day maybe, but right now, they get in the way. Cars break down. When you have a lot of stuff, you got a lot to lose. I like being that small guy that doesn't give a shit. Mm-hmm. Come at me. Yeah. When you don't got a lot, you can take more chances. I'm a risk taker. I'm a calculated risk taker. So, you know, you're worried about a house. You're worried about, shoot, the toilets are plugged. This has happened. This happened. You take your eye off the ball.
I like it. So I know that we talked about this a little bit on the tour, but what are you guys doing for recruiting right now? That's kind of next level that that would be useful, I think, to smaller businesses and medium-sized businesses as well.
Yeah, my buddy started a company called Rapid Hire Pro, and he's taught me a lot on social media. But here's the number one thing that nobody does. When you search for a company, you look at their Indeed and their Glassdoor. So get some good employees to go on Indeed and Glassdoor and hook you up. Number one, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, they got a 5-star Yelp, but a 1-star on, like, they don't think. It's like these people, like the owners, I swear. Number one. Number two is you want to be everywhere all the time. Never say I need to hire somebody. Always be hiring. Design a division of your company that's designed around hiring. Do not hire when you need somebody. Preventative maintenance. Hire when you find badasses.
I love that.
Another big one is marketing. Everybody thinks about marketing for customers. I think about marketing for great people. My top producers, we're going to Cabo, Mexico, Cabo San Lucas. I believe that's what it's called. And going with about 30 people.
Yeah.
And we call it the Pinnacle Club. Each of these guys in the company hit over $1 million of sales. So I got my handsome videographer here coming, and we're going to make a lot of culture videos. It's all going to be like, hey, you could come here too. So we're going to give them a bigger why, right? We just hired a dream manager. I know I'm loud as hell. The dream manager.
I love that book, by the way.
So the deal is she's on full time now. She's working with 65 people. And our goal is to help them realize their dreams and get their credit score fixed, get them into a home, get them a rental house, give them the car of their dreams, let them go on vacations that they dream of, put their kids in private school. These little things. Imagine if I could help people accomplish their dreams. Like that to me is the ultimate satisfaction.
I love it. It's a great mindset. What are you guys doing for the LMS, the learning management system, and what software are you using? But also, like, what's your, are people able to like learn at home and stuff? I know that a lot of it's role play and I guess I'm just curious what that system looks like.
Yeah, we've got one called starts with an A. I'm trying to think of it. Sarah's saying.
I know there's Learnable, and I know there's a couple.
There's Teachable.
Other ones.
There's Trainual. There's
Trainual. Yeah, that's
So we use one. It's a really nice one. I forget what it's called right now. I'm sorry. It's called Absorb.
Okay.
And I like LMS, but an LMS is not supposed to. You still got to have hands-on. You got to change it up. You got to have videos. You got to have hands-on. And you got to have
role play.
It should be fun.
Yeah.
The thing is about training is you got to understand this is when someone's getting onboarding, and I do an orientation for 3 hours, and it's so important that goes well. And then this is the first month they're going to spend with you, so be prepared. When the people come in, do something nice for them. Give them a cup of coffee. Like go over things and write them a nice little letter. My new book's going to be about recruiting, training. So it's going to be the Home Service Millionaire Training Edition. And nice. I'm going to be putting a lot of tips on there. But if you think about a CSR, let me tell you guys something ridiculous. 2 CSRs, CSR A, CSR B. CSR is A at 60% booking rate. CSR B is at 90%. They both take 20 calls a day. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
$500 ticket average. They were 300 days out of the year. CSRB made you $940,000 more. $1 million for 30% higher booking rate with 20 calls a day. We don't think about, they say, listen, our CSRs, yeah, we give them $15 an hour. We basically don't respect our CSRs and dispatchers. We think the technicians and installers are everything. Booking calls is the front line. It's the first line of defense. And if you don't think about this stuff, you're only as strong as your weakest link. I absolutely love that saying. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And most of the time it's in your call center.
That's good. I love that. I know that roofing has an issue with that.
Oh, God, it's horrible.
Yeah.
One of the things I recommend is using call cap. One of the things I recommend is having a second call center.
Okay.
I got a guy.
What's call cap do?
Call cap listens to each call and they grade it.
Ah.
So they have a third party.
Yeah.
They listen to the call. And what you'll find, here's a tip for you guys. Get on a voice over internet protocol system. There's a feature called Round Robin, which it'll distribute calls to each person. Put on a weighted average to your best people first and make way more money.
I love it. I also just talked to a dude at Win the Storm. It's Rilla AI, and I think it's kind of the similar thing, except it's using AI to kind of grade.
We've got some AI stuff.
Analytics on phone calls. I just saw, was hearing about it. I was like, that's super cool.
There's this one called Gong.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Like Gong is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Don't invest in any more software if you're not utilizing what you already have.
Woo, that's good.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people, I'm like, do you have a call tracking number for your marketing campaigns? They're like, what's a call tracking number?
Yeah. They've got 3 new softwares that they're starting to try to use soon. Yeah.
Oh, man.
A lot too.
All the time.
All right. Small and mid-sized businesses again. Like we got a lot of roofers going from like 2 million to 10 million. So if you don't mind trying to think about it that way. Think about that a little bit. What are the crucial KPIs that you focus on? I know you have a ton of KPIs, key performance indicators that you guys probably focus on. But what are like some that like you want to hammer on that you're thinking about all the time?
Well, I got mine, but just understand key performance indicators are lagging indicators. They're what happened. What you want to figure out is how do you make your culture, how do you make people have a why to come to work? Do they understand how to win the game? Do you have manuals? Do you have bonuses? Do you have incentive pay? Those things matter, number one. Number two is the KPIs that matter. I can tell you exactly more about your business in a whiteboard with just a few KPIs. Number one is I need to understand your face-to-face. First of all, I need to know what your average ticket is. And I'll raise it. I'll double it like this. Using financing. And never call it financing, call it promotions. And if you can't get somebody through financing, like I said, get with a credit card repair company, come up with a program. It's something I'm working on. Average ticket raise. Number two, face-to-face conversion rate. You better have a freaking really, really good process that where, I love the movie The Founder where the McDonald's brothers are sitting there figuring out the best process, exactly how to do it. When you squeeze the stuff on a Big Mac, it can't be too much. It can't be too little. It's the perfect amount every time. There's always 3 tomatoes. Every single time they learn these things. So create your process face-to-face like that. This is a beautiful home, if you don't mind me asking. How long have you been here? I've already looked at Zillow. I've already looked at your LinkedIn. I've already looked at your Facebook. I've already looked at everything. I know more about you than any of your neighbors do before I even come to the house. I know when you bought the home. Number 3, I need to know your booking rate, but I want to understand, are you doing stuff on Nextdoor? Are you doing things on Yelp? Are you doing things on form fills? Are you doing things on online chat? If you're not doing this stuff, and I screw up sometimes too, so don't get mad at yourself, just change it. And then I want to know, what does it cost you to acquire a lead? You see, if you got just those KPIs, average ticket, your closing rate, your booking rate, and your cost to acquire a customer, I'll spike all these. I'll lower your cost to acquire a customer. Then I just pour gasoline. Gasoline is the marketing. You know how much it's going to cost? So then I just know, I'll give you a clue. You take all these numbers, divide them into each other. Then it tells you how many jobs you need to hit how much revenue you want. So I know how many jobs I need to get to 151 million. And I don't want to tell you, it's a crazy number. But lots and lots of jobs.
Are there enough garage doors?
There's more than enough because I'm getting into the garage door, flooring, garage door, storage, front doors, and windows. I don't know if I get to $1 billion just with garage doors, but one of the questions you asked me earlier is, how do you go into another sector? And I'll tell you this. Don't do it until you maximize the current one you're in. The problem is you get them focused over here, they stop focusing on this. You get your guys focused on this, they can't go here. Automate as much as possible. Automate as many things as possible. ServiceTitan allows me for automation. So 96 hours before they get the garage door installed, I'm going to give them an opportunity. Would you like some storage racks installed? And it's always an upsell on the back end. And what happens if you automate it? I love humans, but I hate them at the same time because you can't get them to do the same thing over and over again. Software does the same thing over and over again.
How do you hold your sales team accountable? So when we were on the tour, you had mentioned that it's not as much about creating the standard operating procedures, but you should spend almost 10 times as long making sure that there's checks and balances in place to make sure people follow through. So what are some of the ways that you help people follow through, or that the company does?
So number one, secret shoppers. Number two, secret shoppers, when you have a customer, you give them what you want to hear and they write down everything. So I was in the restaurant industry, so that's something I'm familiar with. But
you're a bar back or
I was a busboy bar back.
Me too, bro.
Were you?
Yeah.
See? The best.
I wanted to be a
people.
server, but they never let me be a server.
See, I moved up to server.
Okay,
I actually moved up to bartender.
Yeah.
So the deal is, when you're building a system, I went and visited Leland Smith, $600 million. And I'm watching his dispatchers. They got 3 monitors, and they're calling every single customer to make sure, did the guy have his footies on? They're basically a quick survey in the middle of the call. And so what I'm designing right now is a video that goes out. Well, he's going to do it. A video that goes out 10 minutes after we start the work. And I just want to make sure that Tim talked to you a little bit about some of the promotional offers we've got going on. Did he mention that we do garage door storage? Did he mention that we have those beautiful floors? And we just, now what happens? Their behavior starts to change because they know, great, customer's going to get this video. I might as well just say it ahead of time. And then we've got pictures in our CRM. Like every sticker needs a picture and it's geotagged. You can't fake the system. Mm-hmm. So creating things that take pictures.
Yep.
Our videos, we do a lot of videos.
Do you have a system for that? I don't know.
ServiceTitan.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
The ServiceTitan's our CRM.
Awesome. How do you empower leaders?
So this is a big one. I think one of the hardest problems about growing is developing leadership. And first time I did it, I paid everybody $100 to read a book, cash. And I said, I need this book read by next week. And these guys were like, last book they read was like Dr. Seuss. So I finally got these. Number one is get them to read. Number two is respect their chain of command. I'll never veto somebody. I'd veto them if they fired somebody recklessly. Especially some of my managers tend to really go after the top performers. Ooh. And I say this, if you're going to go after the top, you better fire the bottom. You know, Tom Brady used to, who do you think got more attention? Tom Brady or the third-string quarterback?
Tom Brady.
So do you think that making Tom Brady the best version, the top guy in the league, working on him more? How many times in business do we go after the bottom 20%, try to work with the guys that are shit in the bed? You should be making the top guys better, raising the bar every day, working with the top. I work with the top 10% every day. I let everybody else work with the bottom 20% because that to me is like I'm babysitting. My top guys were revolutionizing the industry, thinking of ways to be better, faster, stronger. Great for the customers, making sure we do for them what we do for mom.
That's a really good mindset. I appreciate that. And then, you know, I mentioned this earlier, but I want to touch on the podcast. What's your system for making standard operating procedures? It sounds like you're not like, who owns that?
Yeah, you know, Luke is heavily into operations, but like me and Jim Leslie work a lot on like for example,
what's the role title? Excuse me,
so they're all C-level, C-suite level, okay, but sweet. VPs or but it's broken down into the departments. But the deal is, each one of my other warehouses now, we've got a list.
Yeah. When
we go rent that place out, we go to Costco, Home Depot, and Amazon, and we order the same stuff. When I do a GMB, all these things get knocked out. LSA ads. My background check gets shared for LSA. It's called advanced verification. There's a process. And here's the thing. People go, they're afraid of processes. Most people listening right now, I'm sure they're great firefighters. They're great at problem solving. I'll leave you, Tommy. It's all about the vanilla. You got to have manuals, checklists. You got to have an org chart. You got to have a chain of command. You got to have accountability. And what got us to 100 million will not get us to a billion. So right now, the people I bring, I'll tell you what. 3 years ago, I wouldn't have attracted the people I got now coming on. 3 years ago, I couldn't have. Now, the people that I'm hiring have worked for billion-dollar companies. So they know how to get there quicker. So unfortunately, I'd love to just kind of skip second base and go straight to home plate and say, how do I get to a billion? But sometimes you got to grow with what you have. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, don't let anybody get comfortable. Ken Goodrich was at one of my board things. And he sat in the meeting and he goes, you know what? Tommy calls me twice a week. He reads a new book every day. This guy is hungry. He's hungry. He's growing himself. And he looks at all the managers and he goes, my best advice for Tommy, you looking at me? I said, yes, sir. He goes, I want you to fire these guys. I want them to work 40 to 50 hours a week and then work 15 to 20 hours on themselves because you're growing way too fast to hang out with these losers if they can't keep up with you. Okay. I was like, he said it really, and he goes, was I a little harsh? I go, yeah, but they needed to hear it because you've got to grow yourself. I told my guys on Thursday, we have a big meeting. I said, plan on working the hardest you've ever worked. This is going to be the hardest company you ever worked for, but you're only going to work on one thing all the time. Guess what that is?
Specialization?
Yourself.
Oh, okay.
You're going to work on yourself. You're going to make the best version of you. You know what hell on earth is? Imagine you're walking down Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
It's from Minnesota. And he sees this guy. This guy's got this little kid on his shoulders. He's got this six-pack. He's funny. His skin's perfect. He's charismatic. He's a multi-millionaire. And you walk up to him and you go, we must be related. And you realize he's the best version of you. That's hell on earth. So my goal is not to let people meet the best version. It's to create the best version of yourself.
I like it. Well, is there any questions? Not yet. Okay, so
you guys don't ask questions?
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't promote this well enough. I would have thought there would have been a ton of questions. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening to the podcast. What should people check out?
Yeah, so I wrote the book, The Home Service Millionaire. I got the next book coming out at the end of the summer. It's going to be about hiring, recruiting, orientation. My podcast isn't as good as The Hook, but it's called The Home Service Expert. And I've got a new podcast coming out called Ask Tommy, and it's going to be killer. I don't mean to do self-promotion, but I'll take the chance. I'll take the opportunity, I should say. I'm interviewing all of our top employees, C-suite, some of our sales guys, some of our trainers, and we're going through and we're finding out what is their lives like? What is it like to work here? What's their role? And what's going to happen is this is a big recruiting tool. This is going to be, it's a time to give my amazing team a chance to get recognized. So it does recognition. It builds culture. It gets recruiting. It gets customers. And I think this one, we get 25,000 downloads a month on the Home Service Expert. I think this one's going to do 100,000. And see, I measure. Yeah. What gets measured gets managed.
Yeah.
And I don't care about the downloads. I care that I'm doing better each month. I want to BYB, better your best. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know where you sit today, how are you supposed to be better tomorrow? Mm-hmm. But one word to the wise. I'll end with this. You want to make your company better? You have no idea what it looks like? You need to go out and find the best company in your industry. Fly across town. Fly across the country. Go there, and I want you on the plane to write down 1,000 questions, at least 100. And I want you to genuinely be interested in asking questions. And when you walk in this room of a multi-$100 million company, hopefully in your industry, definitely exists in roofing, you'll find the air is a little bit different. You'll find the smiles are a little bit better. You'll find the production is just happening a little bit more. And you'll learn where you need to go. I think so many times we just don't know our destination. We've never seen it. So when I go to $100 million, $500 million, I can't go to $100 million because we've already surpassed that. So now I'm like, how do I get to the $1 billion shops? And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if I go to Amazon or Google here in the next year, because I aspire to be number one. That's one of my core values. So the only person, Elon Musk is who I look look at as my competitor, truthfully. I really do.
I like it. Well, thanks everyone for watching. HookAgency.com. Check out A1 Garage.
Get hooked.
Exactly. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.